Okay, so as you can see in the auxiliary coordinate, it's recorded that reference just here. So I'm now going to take that, now that I've written it down, and go and plug it into that parameter. So if I come out of here and I go back across to the parameter settings, and then I punch in go to parameter 3411, enter, that brings up the parameter, and up the top, second from the top there, we punch in the reference we've got. Now it's important to note that you need to put a negative in front of it, and you need to ignore the dot because it is measured in thousandths of a millimeter. So I simply type in negative 187,819 with no decimal point and hit enter. Again, it will ask me the password, which is the same, 520, and hit enter, and it gets entered into there, and you'll see the number, which is very difficult to see, negative 187,819, which is listed under the auto tool to table distance index 3411 for the parameter. Okay, so now that that's done, if I come back now and I do the same thing that I did last time, where I go into the monitor and MDI input, making sure the machine's still on MDI, and I still have you can't see it, but I still have the tool set to tool 8, which is my reference tool. When I click enter this time, or cycle start, it will run down again and check the tool height measurement. Now this time, when it does it, because I've put in that reference, the negative 187,819, it should come out roughly close to 0. It could be a few thousandths out, but for cutting ACM and cutting lettering and even cutting cabinets, a few thousandths of a millimeter is fairly probably not much of an issue. So when I come back to here, I'll go back into that tool offsetting. So we'll go back into the offset setting, and you'll see down here the tool measurement now is out. Z is 0.005, so 5,000th of a millimeter out. I pretty much consider that to be totally acceptable. Now if you check, you can go through your list of tools one at a time by going back to the monitor and MDI input, and you can change the reference up here, which is T8 to T7, T6, T5, T4, T3, T2 and T1, and as long as you have the F2 on, which for us is the auto tool measurement, then every time you change a tool it will measure that height and then input it into the tool list. If you go into the offset setting and you go into the tool set and you see the list, all these here are a reference to the different heights to 0. So negative 4 means that is 4 millimeters smaller than my reference tool. That's 4 millimeters larger than my reference tool. That's 43 millimeters larger, but I'm pretty sure that's like my 12.5 mil flat end mill, so it's a fairly massive tool, so I expect that. Now the only one here which is a little bit odd is my number 7. My number 7 is my resurfacing tool for my spoil board, and I always keep that at 0. And the reason why I always keep that at 0 is I always set the material up against it when I'm going to surface the spoil board, so I'm not terribly worried about that height. I can show you checking one tool if you like. It'll probably adjust it slightly. So what I'll do is I'll go back into here and I'll go back to monitor and make sure that it's on MDI input, and I'll press the MDI input button, and up on here using the arrow keys over here I'll move along to the end and then click backspace to delete the 8 and replace it with a 7, or actually replace it with a 1. So I now have T1 up here. I click OK down here and my reference is now T1. And now when I click cycle start, the machine will then go down and swap my tool for tool 1. Because of the fact that I have F2 light still on, it will go and it will lean down and it will check it. All of the tools are referenced against the reference that you put in the parameter of 3411, and because of the fact that it's set that way, everything is referenced to your reference tool, which is set to 0. Now the reason why you do this is whenever you put in a piece of material, if you use the tool 8, the reference tool, to set the height, I'll just turn this off. Again, it will give me the warning to say about the auto tool height, and I will skip out of that. If you use it always that number tool 8 to when you put a new piece of material in, it will automatically know that that material represents the 0 point of your material. And using the G code and the H offsets, which are set within your post processor, it will automatically take reference of all of those tool settings which are set within the tool setup. So all the H references in your G code will reference this, and because your tool number 8 is set to 0, everything will cut at the exact same position. Once you've set this, you pretty much only have to set the tools once, unless you're changing a tool, in which case you'll have to recheck the tool. But unless you're taking a collet out and replacing the tool, it never changes. I do realise that this gives up one of your tools, but being that I've got 8 and I do have them all full, it's never been an issue, and it's certainly the easiest way to do it. Thanks for listening.